$226 profit on the book, or 1,000% ROI. $176 on this single book flip, a profit of $151. What's going on, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 book flips on Amazon in the year of 2023. These are all going to be books that made well over $100 profit each on. They're books that were bought on Amazon or on eBay and then resold on Amazon for a profit. With that said, let's get right into the video. All right, so we're going to start off here with the single largest book flip of 2023 for me. This is a book I came across on April 18th as actually something that I was tracking, and you can see April 18th on the Keeper graph is when this book dropped in price from $219 all the way down there to about $19.69. I do actually want to show you proof that I bought it. So it says I purchased this on April 18th of 2023. You can see that there was a subtotal there for $19.69. And I'm going to scroll down here on SellerAmp. I'm going to look at the orders, and you can see that I flipped it for $298 about 3 months ago. So if I put in the buy cost and the sales price, we made a $226 profit on the book, or 1,000% ROI. So guys, this is a book I bought on Amazon and then resold on Amazon and made a $226 profit on it, which is pretty incredible. Now, the reason why I purchased this book is because if I look at Keepa over the last few years, you can see that the use price of this book has always been very, very high. If I go left or right on the Keepa graph, it's pretty much always above $100. And sometimes it's a little bit lower, but sometimes it's even higher. And in the past, there were points of time where the sales rank of this book had improved when the cheapest price in Amazon was like over $200. So what that told me is, okay, this is potentially a book that could sell for a lot. Now, I started tracking it here back in October of the previous year. All that means is I came up here on the Keepa graph to this track product feature and went ahead and input a price. In this case, I put in a $30 tracker. And so, I'm going to be tracking this book over the next 10 years or the next decade. But some time went on. Let's see, this would have been 5 or 6 months went on. And then all of a sudden, somebody listed this book for sale for $15.72 plus shipping. That's when I was able to pick up a copy and, sold it not too long after for $298. And that's going to be the single largest book flip for me on Amazon. $226 profit on just one book. All right, the second book that we're talking about is called The Tequila Ambassador. Here's a book I bought on May 10th. And you can see on May 10th, that's when this book dropped in price from $699 all the way down here to $88.88. Now, I started tracking it after I found it, but essentially, last couple sales rank drops before that appear to be at some pretty astronomical prices. So here's the sales rank drop, which appears to be at $699. Couple sales rank drops here when we don't see the used price there. Probably this was a sell at $99.99 there. But if I again expand the Keepa graph on this book, tons of sales rank drops in the past, well over $100. So if I zoom in to, let's say, 2019, there's a collection of handful drops above 100. So this is a book that previously was out of stock for a long time. Basically the used offer count wasn't there on the Keepa graph. On the bottom Keepa graph, we didn't even see a used price. So to me, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a book that appears to potentially sell for a lot of money and doesn't ever really seem to have a very high stock quantity. Now, I was able to sell this book for $325. Let's go down here to the orders page, and you can see it had sold 4 months ago for $325. So that basically left us with a profit of $176 on this single book flip. So this is a book that had a much higher buy cost than the previous book, but still a great flip. Now, I didn't show you proof yet that I bought it, but let me go and show you that I did buy it for $88.88. There you go. There's $88.88. A wonderful flip. All right, the third book that we're going to look at is actually a loose leaf. I actually love flipping loose leaf textbooks because, come on, dude. Sorry about that. So basically what happened is my iPhone ran out of storage. So that's why the video stopped. And I was like, come on, man. We'll just go and start now. All right, the third book we're going to talk about is actually a loose leaf. And I love flipping loose leaf textbooks because a lot of people avoid them. Loose leaf textbook is one that doesn't have a binding. So it's not a hardcover or paperback. It's just loose pages. And they have a couple different names. They have Student Value Edition, a la carte edition, loose leaf edition. But I love flipping this because you have to put them in a poly bag. A lot of times they might not be in as good of condition, but my experience selling loose leaves has been great. So don't shy away from selling loose leaves. I make thousands of dollars off loose leaves for sure. And here's just one example of a great loose leaf that I found for actually a really incredible purchase price. So this is Foundations of Behavioral Neuroscience. I actually bought this on September 21st. So not even that long ago, just a few months ago. And we bought this for $743 on September 21st. Now, the fascinating thing about this is I actually paid $0 for it. And the reason for that is because I used the Amazon Rewards Visa Signature credit card. I used points that I've earned just from buying books in this Amazon model. And so I was able to redeem the points that you get, basically get 5% back on every purchase, and you get those 5% back in the form of rewards points, which you can use on Amazon purchases, or you can use it for travel, the Chase portal. So, and I'll link to the video here if you're interested in that credit card, but it's an absolutely must credit card if you're going to be doing this model full time, because you get basically 5% back on every purchase, which is an insane deal, insane for cash back. So in any case, I ended up picking this book up for $0. So bought it for $7.43, technically bought it for $0, and bought it in good condition. Now, if we scroll down to the Keep It chart, this is again another book I was tracking. You can see that largely that this book has been out of stock. If I come down here to the bottom graph on Keep It, you can see the used offer count is at its highest like 1 to 2, and basically has been out of stock for almost the entire year. So, I started tracking this a while ago. Looks like I started tracking this back in July. This would have been 2022. Yeah, so well over a year and a half ago. But this is a book that had seen some pretty high dollar sales range drops. And what I mean by that is the used price has been pretty high in the past when the book has become more popular, when it's actually sold. So you can see here the sales range drop at $140, $139.99 there. So again, this is something that, if I could pick up for $15, which is what I was tracking it for, I thought would be a decent pickup. So you can see that's what happened on this date here, September, this would have been 21st. The price of this book went from $249 all the way down to $345. I got notified with my Keep Alert. I'm technically the only person tracking this. You can see how if I look at community tracking, it says that it was starting to be tracked 17 months ago for $15. So I'm the only one who would get notified of this. I mean, technically, if you're on Keep It Deals, you might have got notified about it, but depending on what your parameters were. But at the time, this was a book with a 4 million sales rank. So I doubt anyone on Keep It Deals actually found it. In any case, this is why tracking books could be so insane, because I was able to pick this up for $7.43. Technically bought it for $0 because I used rewards points. And then I was able to flip it for $199.99. So if we come down here and we look at the orders page, you can see that it sold 2 months ago for $199.99. What's actually really interesting, looks like it sold this book 9 months ago for only $45, so I mean, I must have gotten it really, really cheap in the past as well. So I've had past historical sales data, but this sold for $199.99, which is pretty crazy. And we made a profit of $151. Technically like $160. So literally a $0 buy cost, made over $150. That should show you the power of this Amazon model. And think about it like this. I definitely deal in less books because I'm a little bit more picky on what I buy. I'm kind of cherry picking. But if you go to library sales or thrift stores, a lot of times you're getting a lot of volume, but oftentimes the average selling price is right around like $18 to $25 for most people who do that. And so on average, you might only be profiting $4 or $5 per book. So, this is a book I made $150 profit on. If you're, doing the bulk model and you're making $5 profit on book for average, I mean, you're going to need quite a few books just to reach the profit of one book, right? I mean, you're going to need, what would that be, 30 books just to get the same profit for one book, here. And this was a book that we had a $0 buy cost on because of the Amazon credit card. So again, make sure you check out that video, really great video on the best credit card for this model if you're interested. All right, the next book is a really cool book, very niche book. The Dictionary of Scottish Immigrants to Canada Before Confederation, Volume 1. This came out in 1986. So this is a book that also is quite old. Again, what you'll probably notice about a lot of these books, especially the higher dollar flip books, they're ones that have really weird keepographs, or ones that don't seem to be books that are selling very often. They might have sales ranks that are very high. And that's because that's what I specialize in. I specialize in finding books that are rare or niche that don't sell very often, but have really great past historical sales data. And so here's another example of that. So I bought this on September 10th, and let's go and look at the order. You can see I bought this for $9.90, and now it would have been here in September when the price dropped from $249 down to $592 plus shipping. If we look at the last 2,500 days, again, the reason why I'm interested in this is the used price of this book over the last 2 or 3 years has always been very high. It's always been kind of at the low point in the high 40s, but it's been the 70s, it's been the 90s. There's even been times where it's been out of stock. There's been times where it's been as high as $400 or $500. Now, trying to identify what the book is sold for is just overlapping, the sales rank with the lowest price. So, here I have a couple sales rank drops, which indicates the book has become more popular. According to Amazon, the only reason why it would become more popular is because people are buying it. And you can see that the cheapest price at that time in Amazon was right around $90. So just logical thought process is the cheapest price of this book in Amazon was $94, and somebody bought the book. Well, they must have bought it for at least $94. So I'm trying to establish kind of what is the book worth. I can go back and say, okay, there are other periods of time where this book is sold for $80, $90 as well. Here's a book you might have thought sold for $4.99, but in reality probably sold when the price dropped to $75, and looks like it sold within a day. That's a really great sign that the book was at that's a sign the book was at a very competitive price. So I bought this book for $9.90, was able to sell it for, I believe, $199. Let's go and take a look at the orders page. Yeah, so it looks like it sold 2 months ago to Bob for $199.99. And this is a book I didn't even reprice. I think this is a book that my prep center had sent in and pretty much just sold immediately. I didn't even have a chance to reprice it. But $199, there was past historical sales data to suggest that it could sell for right around like $100-ish bucks. That's what I was going to list it at, but it sold pretty much immediately at $199, which is really awesome. So I made a $150 profit on this book. I was trying to sell for $99.99 and make a $65 profit, which is still amazing on a $9 investment, but sold for $199.99. I'm not complaining at all. $150 profit. Again, think about it. If you're doing library sales or thrift stores and you're making $5 profit per book on average, then you need to sell 30 books just to make the same amount of profit as I did. But there's, way fewer books. There's only one book you have to deal with. In my opinion, it's the why I like this model so much. I'd rather have a much higher average selling price and sell fewer books and make the same amount of money as people who are selling a lot of books and a lot of volume. And it's not like one model is better than the other. Someone might say, Joji, well, why don't you just sell 40 books then instead of 30? So for me, I like to do less work for the same amount of profit rather than more work for the same amount of profit. It's just the way that I like to do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's better or that volume is bad. It's just, at the end of the day, I've got limited time. I'd rather spend my time trying to cherry pick and find the best books rather than just go super, super wide, cast a huge net, find tons and tons of duds, and find some, just find bread and butter $5 flips. So that's my thought process. All right, the last book we're going to throw in for the most profitable book this year is going to be an eBay to Amazon flip. So I've made tons of FlipMine videos on my YouTube channel. FlipMine is still a viable software. It's an eBay to Amazon software. Now, mostly I do Amazon to Amazon. Check out the A2A Masterclass. We've got over 150 students who've enrolled, and I've been hearing really good things about it. It's a 100 video course and the whole A2A business model. But there's also, books that you can buy on eBay and sell on Amazon with FlipMine. So here's a book, Boilers Operator's Guide. I bought this book on eBay for $99. You can see this was purchased on March 26th, so purchased quite a while ago. $99 there. If we scroll down to the Keep It chart, this book has basically always had, its lowest use price above 300 almost the entire year. It's been a little lower than that recently, but tons of sales rank drops indicate that the book has become more popular when it's been that high. You can see even Amazon, when they were in stock, this had an amazing sales rank. Lowest price, was about $80. That's what Amazon is selling it for. So $99 seemed to be a great deal considering that it appears that this book has sold amazingly well. And it did. It sold here for $299.99. I'll show you some proof. There you can see $299 8 months ago. That actually sold really quickly. It sold within a month, I believe. Yeah, I bought it on March 31st. Or actually, no, that's when it was delivered, March 31st. And then it sold April 18th. So it sold in a couple weeks for $299.99. Really great flip. Made $144. FlipMine subscription, I think it's like 40 or 50 bucks. I forget. Just with that one book flip, I paid for like 3 months of FlipMine, which is pretty insane. So make sure you check out those videos as well. But, those are my top 5 book flips of 2023. Now I'm over here on my Joji 2023 spreadsheet, which is where I house, this is where I keep track of all my information. So just to give you a little bit of a snapshot kind of into what you're seeing here is, basically in the year of 2023, I was able to flip over 33 books for over $100 profit. So that alone, that's over $3,300 in profit just from $100+ book flips. And then you can see as I scroll down, these are books that have less profit, but still amazing profit. $60. So let's just go to the $50 mark. We can say, okay, well, it looks like this year I flipped over 200 books for over $50 profit, which is that's $10,000, right? At least $10,000, because a lot of those books sold for more than $50, right? Right now, this year, my average profit per book is right around $35. Actually, excuse me, it's a little lower than that. The average profit per book here is $33.96 on the year. So average sales price is right around $68.59. The average proceeds after fees, that's the paycheck Amazon gives me after Amazon fees, about $51. So, on average, I'm picking up a book for $17, flipping it and selling it for $68 and profiting about $33 after all said and done by costs and Amazon fees. So if you guys are interested in this model, check out the other videos. You got tons of free resources and videos on my channel. I feel like you could be wildly successful with that. But if you want step-by-step walkthrough and videos on how to do it, then feel free to join A2A Masterclass. Again, heard a lot of great things about it. We got a private Facebook community in there. There's still some time to get on some live group coaching, and there's some coaching replays in there that you can watch. So tons of resources. If you're interested in this kind of work from home, have a side hustle that can generate significant income. I don't know if, depending on if you're new or not, I'm a high school teacher. Basically, my book business has been able to replace my income, my teaching income. right? So, Amazon has allowed me basically to be able to invest my entire teaching income. I technically no longer even need it. So some people might be asking, Joji, why don't you just quit teaching? Well, truth to be told is it's a great way for me to save tons of money and invest tons of money. So still an advantage to be a teacher. Plus, I really enjoy it still. And so I find value in that. I find it meaningful. And yeah, selling books on Amazon has changed my life. There's no doubt about it. So if you guys are interested in just learning more about it, again, check out the free YouTube videos. I think personally, in my opinion, tons of value that can help you guys scale. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in 2024. Peace.